Good morning. Good morning. Um, I've been wanting to do my book for years. Um, I'll start out by saying that I was born in Lancaster, South Carolina, on a farm. Um, on this farm, oh, it was way out in the woods. Our nearest neighbor was probably half a mile away. No, it was a little closer because there was a white farm that was maybe a quarter mile away from us. But other than that, we were on, when I was born, um, 150 acres of land that my uncle had purchased from the white owner who he was sharecropping with. And it's an interesting story because we had been sharecropping, raising cotton and tobacco, um, and all kinds of fruits and vegetables uh, in a sharecropping state. Now, the fruits and vegetables were ours, but the cotton and the tobacco was sold, and the uh, white man that owned the land uh, took practically all of it. We got very little. But it came a time when he had gotten old and he wanted to sell the land, and the white guy who had land near his land wanted to buy his land, and they had some kind of dispute. So he didn't want to sell the land to the white guy, and so he asked my uncle, Uncle Tump, if he wanted to buy the land. So my uncle told him, well, yeah, I'd love to buy the land, but I can't afford it. So the white man said, no, he said, Tump, you have made a lot of money for me. He said, I'll tell you that. He said, and I'll work it out. You just continue to work the land, and uh, from that, I'll take out um, from that, and you can pay me over a period of time. I'll take it out until you own the land. And so that's what he did, and we eventually ended up owning that 150 acres of land. Um, so it everything that we needed, we grew ourselves. Um, and there were other family members, the Reeds, the Browns, the McDowells, all of these families, in the Montgomerys, were um, close together, and they all sharecropped. And it came a time when each one of them had an opportunity to buy their land from the sharecropper, from the white man that owned it. And so these four families intermarried with each other. The Browns, the Reeds, the McDowells, uh, and the Montgomerys, all were black families, large families that lived together um, in that area, maybe within I guess a 10-mile area. Um, we all um, went to church together. Um, we went to Camp Creek Baptist Church, which we built ourselves. Our children went to school, which we built ourselves. Our teachers were my aunt's sister. My mother's sister was a school teacher. She had been to school and graduated from high school, and she taught from the first to the eighth grade. She taught all of us. All of us was a one-room schoolhouse, and so we had this great big pot belly stove in the middle of the uh, classroom. It was one huge classroom, big classroom, but all of us was in there. And so you had a chance to really learn those in the first grade, uh, and they could hear when she taught the first grade because we was all there. Then an hour later, she might teach the second grade and then the third grade. But all of us was getting the full first to eighth grade lessons together, even though she would start at the first and go up to the eighth. You still had to stay there in the classroom for those 8 hours that we were there um, and learn. Now, I remember she was a stickler for learning and especially spelling because I couldn't seem to remember how to spell. That was my worst subject. And she used to give you a lick for every letter in the word that you missed. And so because I just couldn't remember to spell. She'd tell me to go out and get the switch that she was gonna beat me with. And I knew not to come back with a little flimsy switch, because that only meant that I was gonna get some extra licks and have to go back out and get, uh, a switch that that could put whips on your butt. So uh, I remember I couldn't spell climb. She asked me to spell climb one day, CLIMB or UMB. Anyway, I can't even spell it today. But I remember that whipping. And it seemed like I got a beating every day. She was just determined that she was going to teach me. And I seem to never learn how to spell, even to this day. But I loved her. I loved Aunt Sister, and all of us loved Aunt Sister because we knew she loved us, and she just wanted to make sure that we were prepared for the life that would come. Uh, so uh, everything we built, um, we didn't see white people very often. We saw them maybe 2 or 3 times a year that we would go to town in the wagon. And I remember it was it wasn't a good time to go to town because white people controlled everything. Uh, they they didn't really bother us that much as long as we did what they call stayed in your place. Um, on the farm uh, was our place. I mean, we couldn't grow once we got on the land. You couldn't grow many cash crops. I think you could only make $1,000 a year, or something like that. You could only grow $1,000 a year, and since white people control everything, if you went to town to sell your cotton or whatever, you were limited what you could do. So they control the economics, they control the politics. In other words, they were the sheriff, they were all of the political offices they held. And as long as you did not interfere with their economic or political structure, they kind of left us alone. And we were to ourselves. But they knew all of us, and we knew most of them, you know. But they knew all of us. They knew where we were, and pretty much everything about us. They made it their business to. But they left us alone. They didn't really bother us, and we didn't really bother them. So that's the 2 minutes run. So
Oh, that's great. That's great. So we'll stop the broadcast, and then tomorrow, by the end of this evening, you should have the transcript. And I'm going that show you